Cord. Hi, everybody. Bob Fitzgerald, Brave Haven Media. We are glad you're here with us tonight. We're going to talk about some very important things. Tonight's episode is we're going to discuss creating a disaster preparedness plan for you and your family. Now, if you remember last week, when we met and we discussed for a few minutes, we talked about creating safer homes. We talked about some very small things that you can do in your home to help make your home much safer. Now, we would like to thank Brave Haven Media for providing this format for us to deliver this message. We also want to thank our sponsor for tonight's program and last week's program, West Valley City Fire Department. What a great partner they are to have. Now, let's talk about creating this disaster preparedness plan. First question we need to ask is, will everybody in your household do the right thing during the violent shaking of a major earthquake? Probably not. Before the next earthquake, get together with your family to plan now what each person will do before, during, and after the shaking. Now, once the earthquake is over, we will have to live with the risk of fire, the potential lack of utilities and basic services, and certainly the aftershocks that will follow. By planning now, you'll be ready. This plan will also be useful in other emergencies, not just earthquake preparedness, but in other emergencies also. Plan now to be safe. If we plan now to be safe during an earthquake, our chances are much better of surviving and thriving. One of the things that is suggested is that we all practice drop, cover, and hold on, simply meaning you drop to the floor, cover under something strong, and hold on. We all need to identify safe spots in every room, such as under sturdy desks and tables. We need to learn how to protect yourself no matter where you are when an earthquake strikes. All of us need to plan now to respond after an earthquake. All right, so here are a few tips for all of us to consider. You need to keep some shoes and a working flashlight next to each bed. You need to get a fire extinguisher for your home. Now, many of your local fire departments or other companies can train you and your family on how to use it properly. You need to teach everybody in your household to use emergency whistles and the use of knocking repeatedly. If rescuers are searching collapsed buildings, they will be listening for sounds. You need to identify the needs of the different household members. Everybody's household is a little bit different. Your household members and neighbors, they might have special needs or requirements or situations, such as the use of a wheelchair, walking aids, special diets, or medications. Every person in your family should have a go bag for each family member. Now, we'll talk more about this in another program. You should take a first aid or a CPR course. Now, these things can help you in an emergency, make you an asset in your community. You should also learn who else in your neighborhood is trained. You need to know the location of your utility shutoffs and needed tools nearby so that you can turn those things off. Make sure you know how to turn off the gas, the water, and the electricity to your home. Now, only turn off the gas if you smell or hear leaking gas. You should install smoke alarms and test them monthly. You need to change the battery at least once a year, or when the alarm emits a chirping sound, because that's telling you that it has a weak battery. Now, work with your neighbors and identify who has skills and tools and resources that will be useful in an emergency. It'll surprise you what you can come up with. And you also need to identify who may need special attention, such as children, elderly, the disabled. Another great thing to do is check with your city or county to see if there's a community emergency response team or a CERT team. See if there's one in your area. If there is one, ask how to start one. It's so important to plan now to communicate and recover after an earthquake. Select a safe place outside of your home to meet your family or your housemates after that shaking stops. So important that everybody know where they go to meet. Another important thing is designate an out-of-state area contact person who can be called by everyone in the household to relay information. Now let me just tell you the importance of that. In an emergency, they find the cell networks and the phone networks get completely overloaded, and many people are not able to make any local calls. However, they have found that it's easier to make a long-distance call. So if you have a family member or someone living out of state or in another area, have that be your contact person. Let them know that they're your contact person, and let everybody in your household know who that person is as they call and check in. It's kind of a roll call, and you can relay messages and get information that way. So that's just a key ingredient in being prepared. Now, you should provide all family members with a list of important contacts, their phone numbers, names, addresses, and those kind of things. You need to determine where you might live if your home can't be occupied. Many times after an earthquake, they are in such bad shape that you cannot stay in them. Now, many of us, especially here along the Wasatch Front, will have tents or campers or boats or motorhomes, and many of those things can make very comfortable temporary shelters. So think about those things and think about the things that you can do of where you might live if your home can't be occupied. If you remember, we talked last week, their housing may not be available simply because of the great demand and the damage to many buildings. Now, you should know about the earthquake plan developed by your children's school or daycare, your business, and you should keep your children's school emergency release forms current. It's very important. You also need to keep copies of essential documents. Now, these documents might be things such as identification, insurance policies, financial records. Keep them in a secure, waterproof container. 1-gallon Ziploc bags are great. Keep that with your disaster kits. Okay? Include a household inventory. Sometimes you can do that with photos or videos of the belongings that you have. For financial recovery, planning resources are listed at www.daretoprepare.org. That's www.daretoprepare.org. Now, have occasional earthquake drills to practice your plan. Share your plan with people who take care of your children and your pets or your home. Now, if we can do these simple things, we will make our homes and our communities much safer, much friendlier in that hostile environment that each of us will probably face at some time in the event of a major earthquake. This is Bob Fitzgerald, and I just want to thank you for joining us tonight. And I hope you've learned something and have taken something out of this. The important thing is that you get with your family, review these things, and build upon them. These are just some very basic building foundations. Again, we would like to thank West Valley City Fire Department for providing the opportunity for us to get this message out. Thank Brave Haven Media, and for Brave Haven Media and West Valley Fire Department, this is Bob Fitzgerald saying good night and God bless.